please eat your breakfast?
Look, Ma, he lost his cape.
Not all superheroes wear capes. There are heroes all around us, like the ones that bring nutrition to millions of us every day.
Wow, am I a hero too?
Yes, you do. And your dad. He goes to the farm every day to make sure his grain is of high quality.
Superheroes have their own sidekick. Does Dad have his own sidekick?
Yes, they are his partners. They take the grains and produce this Nutri that you love so much. Then it gets to the local supermarket and we buy it from there. Nutri makes us stronger and healthier.
Strong like a superhero.
Yes, son. But do you know why your dad and his sidekicks are superheroes?
Because they make Nutri.
Every spoonful of Nutri comes loaded with the necessary vitamins, protein and minerals for you and your family to become healthier and stronger. Pick up a pack today from your nearest store. Nutri. Every spoonful counts.
Close Up Deep Action with antibacterial formula and deep cleaning gel keeps your teeth clean and protected. Close Up Deep Action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath and more.
Jaza, fuel natumia ni true.
Equipment mi hutumia ni true.
Stock yangu ni fresh vitru.
Our true accounts kwa mtandao ni Stawi Up pale FB na Stawi_KE pale Twitter. Namba zetu true ni 0709714999 na 0730714999. Paybill yetu true ni 796101 na account number ni namba yako ya simu. Usilipe kitu ndo upate loan. Stawi is a product by KCB Cooperative, NCBA and DTB Banks and is regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya. Stawi, the lending app that's enabling MSMEs grow their businesses.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more. Like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Enjoy the magic of Christmas with Coca-Cola.
Really good.
Enjoy Good Life new shopping experience. Seek and you shall find. Visit www.goodlife.co.ke to shop. Search and pick your preferred product. Check out and give your location details. Pick your payment method and wait for your delivery to arrive. It's quick. Click and pick.
Mimi ni member wa Equity Bank since 2008. Tulianzisha kikundi, tukaregister kikundi, ina guarantee each other. So from there, Equity imekuwa na imani kufuatana na kikundi. So ile loan na services ya hizi ilinunulia gari big, nikaiweka kwa Uber. COVID ikaingia, nikaenda Equity, wakanipatia relief ya miezi 3. Ile pesa nilikuwa nilipe loan, nikaweza kuweka nayo biashara ya bakery. Hizo magari ndio nilianza kutumia. Hii profit ninapata kutoka kwa bakery ndio nimeanza kusimamia, kulipa hata loan kidogo kidogo. Niko na watoto wawili na wanasoma. Sasa hizi niko na wafanyakazi 12. Sales niko na watu 8. Kutokana na Equity, unaona watu pia wanategemea Equity through mimi.
You want your car to perform flawlessly? We set it as our goal to make sure you uncheck your car's engine from your problems list. Forget about residues. Forget about overheating. Forget about corrosion. Our fuel, Optimum, keeps your car's engine as clean as ever for optimal performance. Optimum of Ola Energy, ultimate protection.
Nivea Men Deep Antiperspirant with the power of black carbon formula. 48-hour protection from sweat and bacteria. For a deep, clean feeling that lasts. New Nivea Men Deep Antiperspirant. Nivea Men. It starts with you. Official sponsor of Real Madrid.
This is NTV.
Good evening, you're right in time for the top bulletin in town, NTV Tonight. These are our top stories.
Tonight, the virus is spreading fast and the death toll growing. The ball is now in the court of county chiefs.
County start considering county-specific surgical measures to curtail the spread of the virus in the respective counties.
274 lives lost in less than a month, and the country is walking a tightrope.
But what is the point of being nice to a dead person? We want to be alive. I'd rather be hard and get Kenyans living than be nice and have Kenyans dying.
Also tonight, classes are set to fully resume in January despite rising infections among learners.
We are drawing important lessons from the partial reopening that has taken place since October. We are confident that we will remain on the right trajectory to finding the winning formula.
But with the virus claiming the life of a student, the Ministry of Health is treading with caution.
We will not open schools just because we have said that we are going to open schools.
Plus, the world inches closer to a COVID-19 free future as Moderna announces new vaccine, but Kenya remains cautious. And Olympic champion Conseslus Kipruto denies charges of defiling a 15-year-old and released on bond.
NTV Tonight with Mark Masai.
Once again, thank you for joining us on NTV Tonight. My left-hand man, if I may call it that, is David Agondoa on the sign language interpretation, backed by a full team. Tonight, parents and students around the country may be starting the countdown to the resumption of in-person learning in 48 days amidst quite some confusion. Much as the Ministry of Education has said that from January the 4th, all school-going children are expected back to class, the Ministry of Health says that date is not cast in stone. That's just the half of it. The latest school calendar will see some students take breaks while others play catch-up. Charity Mwangi tries to make sense of it all for you.
Grade 4, Standard 8 and Form 4 learners have been attending physical lessons since October 12, 2020. The current second term for this group is expected to end on December 23, 2020. While they will have completed the second term, the pre-primary pupils, Grade 1 to 3, Standard 5 to 7 and Form 1 to 3, who are currently still at home, will be starting their second term on January 4, 2021, while Grade 4, Standard 8 and Form 4 will be tackling their third and final term of the year. Hard to wrap your head around that, right? The confusion was, however, expected as the Ministry of Education promised to minimize the time lost for the learners. The children will then remain in school until March 19th, 2021. They, alongside the grade 4 students, are then to take a break for 7 weeks to allow for KCPE and KCSE administration and marking.
We all understand that the school term has been adjusted to ensure the curriculum is covered ahead of the KCPE and KCSE. I kindly urge teachers to employ innovative approaches to ensure full syllabus coverage is achieved in a desirable manner.
Grade 4 and the current Class 8, expected to transition to Form 1 in July 2021, will remain home as their colleagues take on the third term that will run between 10th May and July 16th, 2021. On 26th July 2021, all students will transition to the next class, with 4-year-olds joining PP1. Despite the rise in infections, the Ministry of Education continues to assure parents of the safety of learners.
We are drawing important lessons from the partial reopening that has taken place since October. We are confident that we will remain on the right trajectory to finding the winning formula.
And we have agreed this with the Ministry of Education that we will not open schools just because we have said that we are going to open schools. We will be guided more by the situation in the country.
And for the teachers, their employer, the Teachers Service Commission, says they have laid plans to ensure their health insurance covers COVID-19 complications. To minimize risk of infection in vulnerable groups, the TSC has advised those above the age of 58 and those with pre-existing conditions to work from home. The TSC has assured them job security, saying that their vulnerability will not lead to dismissal.
We are encouraging teachers who are aged 58 and above and those with pre-existing conditions to work from home as much as possible. These teachers can be utilized in offering critical duties such as preparing schemes of service, schemes of work, teaching aids and marking, amongst others.
The delicate balancing act is now on teachers and parents who are still apprehensive about sending their children to school amidst rising COVID-19 infections. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
That's right, Charity. That puzzle of a calendar aside, there are concerns of safety of students and their families that can't be pushed to the side, even though the Ministry of Education remains confident that come January, schools will be ready for in-person learning. A Form 4 candidate at St. Elizabeth Girls Lureko in Mumias West, Kakamega County, has become one of the first students to reportedly die of coronavirus after schools reopened partially on October 12th. The student passed on while receiving treatment at Life Care Hospital in Bungoma. Okokusa has that report.
Kakamega County Chief Executive Committee member for Health, Collins Matemba, said that the teenager could have picked the virus from her parents, who have also tested positive. He said the girl's parents were currently on home-based care at their home in Mumias West and were in stable condition. The student is reported to have traveled home before she fell sick and was rushed to St. Mary's Mission Hospital in Mumias and later transferred to Life Care Hospital after her condition worsened. Dr. Matemba further said that public health teams had already been dispatched to the school to monitor and assess the situation. The student's death comes at a time when schools in Western Kenya region reported a surge in infections among learners. At St. Peter's Boys Secondary School, 9 students are in isolation after testing positive. At Sacred Heart Mukumu Girls, a Form 4 student who had earlier fallen sick was later confirmed to be COVID-19 positive. The student was admitted at St. Elizabeth Mission Hospital, but she is reported to have sneaked out of the ward, and her whereabouts are still unknown. In Vihiga County, 6 teachers have tested positive to COVID-19, raising the caseload in the devolved unit to 85. The latest situational report released by the Health Department has indicated. These developments come only hours after the Ministry of Education announced that all schools will reopen fully on January 4th, 2021. But it is this statement by the Director of Health, Dr. Patrick Amoth, that appears to expose the government's dilemma when it comes to balancing the pandemic and the school's academic calendar.
Together with the Ministry of Education, it is for us to be able to develop protocols and guidelines that will ensure the safety of schools of our students and pupils in school to ensure that we don't lose our future generation because of a pandemic. Suppose the pandemic stays for 5 years. Are we going to close school for 5 years and have no future?
Okukusa, NTV.
Well, the headache of back to school across the counties is not the only thing governors are going to be grappling with. County leaders will now be given leeway in prescribing measures to contain the spread of coronavirus in their counties, but this will be subject to approval by the national government. According to Health CS Mutahi Kagwe, the spread of the virus is now specific to counties and will be upon individual devolved committees to respond to specific needs. Kennedy Mureithi explains further.
The month of November has seen the highest number yet of COVID-19 infections in the country, and it is just 16 days in.
Since the beginning of this month, we have recorded some 14,927 positive cases. And I remind you that this is only the middle of the month, and lost some 274 people.
The Ministry of Health wants this number could rise in the coming days as the country readies itself for dark days ahead.
Our advice as the Ministry of Health is that instead of attending a wedding, please send a gift. Instead of attending a funeral, please send a contribution if you must. But I think it is in your interest not to attend those functions and leave them to the families.
Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe is attributing the rise mostly to Kenyans' behavior, which he says is no longer aligned to following laid-down procedures.
Even the dead, if they rose up and saw what you are doing, they will turn in their graves.
Counties, the Ministry of Health says, have become bastions for the spread of the virus, and the decision on what measures to take will be left to them.
The county National Emergency Response Committees on COVID-19, co-chaired by governors and county commissioners, should hold emergency meetings and immediately start considering county-specific surgical measures to curtail the spread of the virus in the respective counties.
But there is a caveat.
Any measures agreed upon must also be consulted, must follow consultations with the Ministry of Health on protocols and guidelines and the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government for enforcement. Once agreed, the announcement of the measure specific to counties will be announced by the county NAC and specifically the county governor.
The risk of you contracting the coronavirus disease today is higher than it was yesterday. So the government is calling upon you to stick to the simple rules that it has been singing since March. Wear your mask, wash your hands regularly, avoid crowds, and you'll have lowered those chances of contracting that virus by a larger percentage. Kennedy Mureithi, NTV in Nairobi County.
It's little things that have a big impact. Thank you, Kennedy Mureithi, for that reminder. Now, hours after a doctor's strike notice was issued, the Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has announced a raft of measures expected to cushion healthcare workers. Kagwe has directed the National Hospital Insurance Fund to conclude the negotiations for comprehensive group life, enhanced work and injury benefits, and group personal accidents cover for COVID-19 as approved by the Cabinet. The healthcare workers, as they wait to see what becomes of that, are currently at an increased risk of exposure to COVID-19 as a growing number of workers contract or die of the virus. Rose Wangoi has more.
The misery of doctors and frontline staff in the war against the novel coronavirus is surging in the country. They tend to patients in hospitals, treating them, serving them food and cleaning their rooms. The healthcare workers have borne the brunt of COVID-19 as they treat a rising number of infected patients in both public and private healthcare facilities. This doctor explains the challenges facing healthcare workers.
We as doctors feel oppressed. And with oppression comes depression. Doctors in the county government still have issues getting PPEs. These are the things that protect us from contracting COVID-19. If even the senior most consultants in this country and we've lost 4 already. Cannot get a hospital bed to get appropriate treatment for COVID-19 and the complications. What makes us junior doctors think we're going to get beds?
Many hospitals have been overwhelmed, and healthcare workers sometimes have lacked protective equipment.
When we contract this disease, NHIF is not covering. We don't have comprehensive insurance coverage. We have no package whatsoever for our families when we depart. Because the reality of the matter is, right now, doctors are endangered species.
His voice highlights the plight of healthcare workers amid their vulnerability to the highly contagious virus. With the pandemic escalating, a nurse succumbed to coronavirus on Saturday in Murang'a County. The nurse started experiencing symptoms of coronavirus, including difficulty in breathing. Just this month, 8 healthcare workers have succumbed to coronavirus. Murang'a County Secretary Patrick Mukuria has directed employees to proceed for 2 weeks leave so as to allow fumigation of the office. 8 patients with coronavirus are admitted. 2 among them are in intensive care unit at Murang'a Level 5 Hospital.
We have scaled down our operations at all the county offices due to increased cases of COVID-19.
Kirinyaga County has also closed its headquarters for 2 weeks in an attempt to control the spread of COVID-19. As they are faced with a life-threatening situation, over 3,000 Kisumu community healthcare workers are appealing to the national and county government to pay their 9-month salary arrears. KMPDU has faulted the government for failing to address the plight of healthcare workers, leading to the deaths of at least 30 medical workers. They include 10 senior specialist doctors. The union has since issued a 21-day strike notice.
We have instructed the National Insurance Hospital Fund to quickly conclude the negotiations for comprehensive group life, last expense, enhanced work and injury benefits, and group personal accident cover for COVID-19 as approved by the Cabinet.
The minister made an impassioned appeal to healthcare workers who have given the strike notice to consider that many have been called to serve sacrificially. Rozongoi, NTV.
Even as that call to duty is made, it's easy to see why it's not a small task for the doctors with the numbers that we're getting. And these are not just numbers, these are lives that are affected. Since the beginning of November, as mentioned earlier, that's just over 2 weeks now, there have been over 14,900 people who have tested positive for the coronavirus and 274 lives that have been lost to the disease, and that's just in 16 days. In the last 24 hours, 18 lives have been lost to the virus, and this raises the death toll to 1,287. There are now 70,800 at least people who have tested positive for the coronavirus since March 13th, with the latest being 559 new infections from a sample of over 3,000. Out of the current caseload, there are now 46,200 people who have since recovered after 478 more tested negative today. That's just a bit of the good news. But if those figures for the last 24 hours don't give you a picture of how things are, let's look at the past 7 days, and this is with a focus on the positivity rate and the fatalities. Since November 10th, that is 7 days ago, there have been 133 COVID-19 fatalities. Since then, the lives lost have been over 20 on a daily basis as we flip through the calendar on these days. And just my director to show us on these days, we see the death toll, of course, on a daily basis being over 20, except for today, where 18 people were announced to have passed on. Now, we can also see the positivity rate, and from following the figures that you see, the percentage of positive confirmations from the samples are well above 13% on a daily basis. These, ladies and gentlemen, are not just numbers, but lives. And if that does not add up for us, it's hard to imagine what will. Before you tune off because of the sad start of the bulletin with the current state of affairs, there is hope. As the pandemic continues to ravage the world, the promise for a COVID-19 free world is becoming more real with advancements in finding a vaccine. Moderna, an American company, says its experimental vaccine is now 94.5% effective in preventing COVID-19 based on preliminary data from a late-stage trial. Moderna is now the second U.S. company after Pfizer to develop vaccine with over 90% effectiveness. However, unlike the Pfizer vaccine, that requires ultra-cold storage of minus 70 degrees Celsius. The Moderna vaccine is said to be stable at normal fridge temperatures of 2 to 8 degrees Celsius for 30 days. And it can also be stored for up to 6 months at minus 20 degrees Celsius. Both vaccines have been developed using the messenger RNA technology, but the World Health Organization insists that a vaccine alone is not enough to end this pandemic.
To test vaccines that are essentially not cleared, we are not sure about them. I think the history of vaccines elsewhere also proves us right. And if you look at some of the side effects that we have seen with vaccines that have already been launched, then you can understand why we want the vaccine yesterday, but we are also cautious.
We knew that a vaccine would be essential for bringing the pandemic under control, which is why WHO proposed the ACT Accelerator. But it's important to emphasize that a vaccine will complement the other tools we have, not replace them. A vaccine on its own will not end the pandemic.
Still a long ways to go, but at least that's a start. And God knows we all need a breather. Speaking of which, we get into a break 90 minutes past the hour. I'll be back shortly.
Fresh Fry Premium Cooking Oil now has a new look and an advanced spout and seal. Triple refined, zero cholesterol and natural vitamin E. Fresh Fry, always heart friendly. Now it's even more cooking friendly. Fresh Fry, the premium cooking oil for healthy living.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more. Like serving up your best, eating together and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys.
Enjoy the magic of Christmas with Coca-Cola.
At Jumia, it's Black Friday every Friday. Over 1,000 amazing deals and discounts every day. Jumia Black Fridays, even crazier with DTB.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Go Ahead is believing to make each day a brighter day. It's those small acts that go a long way. Go Ahead is our determination to rise. Going ahead is our courage to do something new. Go Ahead is never giving up in the face of adversity. It means growing our own. It is making the most of what we have. To go ahead. Now, that is the Kenyan spirit.
Do you know that I'm the wife of Gonzalo?
Do you know that I'm the mother of 2 daughters and I don't want you near me?
You can't catch me!
Where should I take you? Where should I go with you?
Love flies out of the window, my dear. Don't you forget that. Love, like everything else in this life, is a decision. It's a decision, you know, when one chooses to love and make a full commitment, and you do it even with the most minimal details, right?
Get your value-added plot today by cash or through our installment plan. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Optiven Limited, the pacesetters in real estate.
Welcome back. Have you ever wondered what happens to the personal information you leave in those books you sign at security checks when you enter a building? Maybe you've even been thrown out by security for failing to sign in your name, ID, or your phone number. This is one of the first things that the Data Commissioner, Immaculate Kasait, will be taking up to not only ensure the security of your data, but also ensure that data collected is used only for the declared purpose.
How many times have you gotten unsolicited messages and emails from people and you're not even sure how they got your contact? And how many times have you entered a building and been required to put in your private information before being given access to it? And how many times have you questioned where this data goes, who's responsible to keep it safe, and if you wanted to investigate, where do you start? Well, starting today, Kenyans have someone they can go to ask.
Immaculate Kasait, make oath that I will faithfully and honestly fulfill my duty as Data Commissioner.
Immaculate Kasait became the country's first appointed Data Commissioner under the 2019 Data Protection Act, and her job description includes securing your data.
The role of the Data Protection Commissioner is to make sure data processors, who in this case are government agencies or are financiers or are insurance companies or are SMEs, that the data they pick about Kenyans, they store it appropriately, it is used according to what they have said they are using it for, and that it is not used for any other purpose. I come in to put in place safeguards that whether it is Huduma number.
But since hers is an office that previously never existed, Kasait says it will take some time to get her feet on the ground and get the office running.
In the event that anyone has a concern in as far as data is concerned, as we set up and take up the office formally, they can address their concerns to the Ministry of ICT, the PS, and attention it to the Data Commissioner.
As a data user, you're entitled to transparency of your data, the right to consent when it comes to collection and erasing of your data, amongst others. Kenyans now wait to see what she will achieve in the first 100 days in office and how the Data Privacy Act will be publicized. She will serve a 6-year term with no options of reappointment. Anita Nkonge, NTV.
From data protection to what we could call reputation protection, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha's woes seem far from over. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has launched investigations into allegations of his unethical conduct. Unethical conduct, you ask? Well, this follows an incident where the CS was captured on camera last week and insulting Wasingishu County Director of Education Getonga Mbaka at Langas Primary School in Eldoret. In a letter addressed to the County Director of Education, the investigating agency has invited Mbaka to record a statement at its North Rift Regional Office this Wednesday to shed light on the matter. Professor Magoha was apparently upset at the state of the hygiene during an inspection tour of Langas Primary School, hence the slur, and has since shown no remorse for his action, just acknowledging that no one is perfect.
Can you step away from this meeting now? When did you Yes, sir. Our CPE, Town Director. He doesn't understand the problem, so he can't help me. Look at this ground. He's talking about a report. Huh? It is not fair. Look at this.
Totally uncalled for. Time for another break. Business News is up next.
wa Kenya. Hii fight hatukuchagua, lakini tuko na choice. Tuchague kujilinda. Tuchague kuprotect familia zetu. Tuchague usafi. Kuosha mikono. Kuosha manyumba zetu. Ndio tulinde watoto wetu. Na tuvae mask. Future yetu iko mikononi mwetu. Kenya, let's do it for the ones we love.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys.
Enjoy the magic of Christmas with Coca-Cola.
Sasa anaweza kutumia namba moja kununua airtime na data kwa urahisi. Dial *334#. Select 3 for buy airtime or data. Enter amount. Accept and continue communicating with your loved ones. Kwa kuweka kila kitu kwa namba moja, tumerahisisha mambo ili uweze kuendelea kufanya vitu unavyopenda ukitumia M-Pesa.
Rock Industries brings you Rock Plastic with a variety of kitchenware, ranging from kitchen dishes, cups, plates, clothesline pegs, spoons, and even rulers for learners. All this coming in your preferred size, beautiful colors and texture, and our products are one shop away from where you are across the country. All Rock Industries Limited products are 100% virgin raw material that is cost-friendly. For these and more products, contact our offices on 0722 575619 or 0736-02-8181. You can also visit our offices in Industrial Area, Ndume Road, off Lungalunga Road, Nairobi.
Ah, Helen Paul.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I've been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains removal. Harpic's thick formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach.
Wow, now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white clothes, towels, and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
Nilikuwa naishi Mlolongo, nikaamua kuweka duka South B ya spares. Nikatafuta rafiki yangu, akanipeleka kwa group, nikaanza savings na Equity. Wakati unataka loan, unaongea na Equity, group ina guarantee upewe hiyo pesa. Mabank zingine mpaka upeane kitu kama title deed, na nikaona sasa hii ya group hakuna kitu unaitishwa, ni kujicommit we mwenyewe. Nilichukua loan ya 30, kwanza ikanipelekea mtoto shule, nikaenda ya 70, nikajenga nyumba yangu, nikaenda 200 na nikaongeza kazi pia. Vile corona ilikuja March, kazi zilienda chini. Bank wakasema mwenye ako na loan tuende kwa bank. Kila mtu vile alikuwa amechukua loan yake, kiwango yake akareduciwa. Kama Equity Bank haingepunguza loan yetu, maisha ingekuwa ngumu sana. Sasa nimekuwa marafiki na Equity Bank kabisa.
Allow me to mind your business for a few minutes now. Industrialization Cabinet Secretary Betty Maina has urged Kenyan businesses to prepare themselves to take advantage of the opportunities emerging from ongoing and concluded trade negotiations with the United Kingdom, the United States, and Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Negotiations for a free trade agreement with the U.S. have gone through 2 rounds, while the post-COVID-19 Economic Partnership Agreement with the UK, as well as trading under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, both kick off in January next year.
When we get to 1st of January, whether it's in the context of the UK or the context of Africa, I think 2 things is that manufacturers and all Kenyan, entrepreneurs really need to know that these markets are open for them. So it is now for us and for them to ramp up production with certainty, because one of the things that they were obvious, especially in the context of the UK, is that we currently have a preferential trading framework. So it was important to secure it. The Africa Continental Free Trade Area gives us an opportunity. We've done the analysis here, and it gives us an opportunity to produce in Kenya a lot of the goods that are being imported into the continent. And it's the same goods that we are good at.
More than 35 Kenya Revenue Authority employees have been arraigned at the Milimani Law Courts, facing various charges relating to corruption, money laundering, and abetting tax evasion. The accused persons were charged after the High Court on Friday dismissed their application to stop the prosecution over the charges, which include abuse of office, making false entries, and receiving bribes, offences alleged to have been committed on diverse dates between October 2018 and April 2019. The accused denied the charges before Milimani Anti-Corruption Magistrate Douglas Ogoti and were released on a 200,000 shillings cash bail each.
All accused will be released on a cash bail of Kenya shillings 200,000 with an alternative bond of Kenya shillings 1 million. Once they have deposited the cash bail, substitution will not be allowed for at least 3 months from today, as experience has shown that interrupts the hearing of other cases. The accused to deposit their passports in court within 24 hours, and for those without to be barred from leaving the jurisdiction of the court.
Here's some welcome news. KCB Group's 577 billion shillings loan book is set for a boost after the lender secured accreditation by the United Nations Green Climate Fund, making it the first financial intermediary for the implementation of green financing in East Africa. The accreditation paves way for the bank to receive funds from the Green Climate Fund, GCF, for on-lending to beneficiary institutions involved in the development of green climate resilient investment projects in Kenya, as well as in the region where the bank operates as the implementing entity. The accreditation, which was announced during the 27th Green Climate Fund board meeting in South Korea, placed KCB under the medium to large private sector category, where it can fund projects of between 5 billion shillings and 25 billion shillings. Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia has warned businesses and individuals against encroaching on road and rail land reserves, stating that the government will be taking more stern action. Speaking after inspecting the construction of Mau Mau Road that links Kiambu, Murang'a, Nyeri and Nyandarua counties, Macharia said cases of people occupying road or rail reserves to be compensated would not be tolerated in the future. Macharia also warned contractors against shoddy work and delay in completion of projects, adding that they risk being blacklisted and even arrested.
Until now, of course, those who came, would like to deal with them in a humane manner. But going forward, if you know we are doing a project and you maliciously put a construction within that corridor, we shall be removing it without exception. But obviously, because people never believed we shall revamp the railway network, those people who have done so, we are taking a fairly humane approach.
And that's the close of business, but not the bulletin. Stay with us.
Like every mother, I'm worried about dangerous insects, especially mosquitoes, which spread diseases like malaria to my loved ones. This year, I'm not afraid. I'm using Mortein Doom. Mortein Doom All Insect Killer provides protection in seconds. Not even a single mosquito is spared, because even one mosquito bite can cause malaria. Mortein Doom provides protection in seconds.
Every time Gran arrives, she always has a small reward for her.
I made this for you today.
Ah, thank you, my baby. It's so beautiful.
Wow!
She's happy, and I trust it because it's made with milk and other carefully controlled ingredients, without any colorings or preservatives. Care has been taken to make it. I love to see her happy because it meets her taste and fantasy. Kinder Joy, my trust, their joy.
At Jumia, it's Black Friday every Friday. Over 1,000 amazing deals and discounts every day. Jumia Black Fridays, even crazier with DTB.
Fun and food got together beautifully at GMC Place. Enjoy our succulent meals in a serene setting with a varied choice of fun games for the little ones. Cup it up with a cuppa or a cocktail, all available to your taste. Discover the joy of a warm pool by diving into the Blue Oasis heated pool. Or at GMC Place, the fun never ends. Make your reservation today on 0701 560 560.
From far with you. I even gifted you a magnificent house. Rosa, it's the thought that counts. Please help me.
When it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Panadol Baby and Infant, tough on fever, gentle on your child.
Kenya is on the rise. It is powered by you. You are innovative. You are passionate about the future. At Stima Sacco, we are a reflection of you. We are a stable, financially sound institution providing tailor-made services to add value to your life, time, and money. We are guided by your aspiration. We are Stima Sacco, a true reflection of you.
With the Stay Soft refill, saving money is as easy as snip, pour, mix with water, and shake. Stay Soft refill. It's 2 liters of Stay Soft for up to 30% less. Light it up with dynamite. Shining through the city with a little fucking soul. Light it up like dynamite. This is shining through the city with a little fucking soul. Light it up like dynamite. Oh.
Welcome back. The eye-catching Mount Kulal forest in Marsabit County is considered a core part of the Marsabit landscape, but one that has come under threat in recent years due to deforestation for charcoal and wood fuel. Some community members view it as a nuisance that disrupts their pastoralist way of life by cutting off access to pasture. But through education and the threat of climate change, the community is learning to protect the forest and ensure its sustainability. Mamo Ali reports.
Located in Marsabit County, the reserve covers about 7,000 kilometers square, extending from the eastern side of the Lake Turkana through rugged lava flows to the top of Mount Kulal, where the core zone measuring 11 kilometers square is located. In the eastern and northeastern part of the core zone, the reserve drops down through the semi-desert ecosystem to the hot lowlands of Chalbi Desert. Conservation measures have barred the nomadic pastoralist community here from their traditional pastures, but the sanctity of the forest is something they cherish.
This forest is sacred for the people of Mount Kulal. The reason is there are some ceremonies who are conducted in this forest, and without this forest, this community will not conduct this forest. There is also some trees in this forest, like cedar, that should not be. There are some ceremonies which should not be done without this forest.
Restoring this native forest is a significant task, and FAO Kenya is helping in these efforts through planting 7,000 trees. There are springs in these 45,000 hectares of forest that residents have depended on for generations. The forest has not been fenced off. Livestock are not allowed in, and logging is illegal here.
Hatungekuwa tunaishi area hii sisi kwa sababu hatungekuwa na maji. Area hii maji iko springs na imeanza zamani kuwekwa pipe na wakoloni wakatuletea hapa nje kwa juu ya milima.
No human activities is allowed in the forest.
The elders have put in some very sharp bylaws that anyone will not have any permission to fail a live cedar tree. For those cedar trees which are dry and fallen, they are the only one, the elders giving the local communities to use here locally to build their houses, traditional houses, and no one can transport outside of Mount Kulal location. For a long time, the government or KFS or Kenya Forest Service has not been participating in its management. We have left it to the community, and we don't experience a lot of destruction, bearing because of the communities organizing themselves and doing what it is required to conserve the resource.
However, the forest is under massive threat of destruction. The conservation of the forest is an uphill task. Local communities are facing challenges of illegal logging that is spreading fast. Increase in population and charcoal burning are among many of the challenges faced here.
Siku hizi watu wameanza mtindo ya kutojali. Nina hofu ya kwamba wile offspring zetu, watoto wetu, vile ninaangalia kwa makini, ninaona ya kwamba kuna kutojali. Hii generation yetu ya ikienda, haitakuwa namna hiyo.
There is a demarcation that the elders have demarcated since 1980, and in the year 2016, the elders have ensured that because of the upcoming new generation who could encourage the forest, they have ensured that demarcation is in the GPS, so that our children who are growing up, they will follow up and ensure this part of this forest will be conserved.
Mount Kulal Forest and Landscape Restoration Campaign with Tree Planting Initiative is in collaboration with key partners and the local community. Mamo Ali, NTV, Marsabit.
Let's briefly look at one of the top stories in the continent at the moment. Ethiopia has denied claims that Uganda is leading mediation to end the unrest in Tigray region. This is after reports that Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni held peace talks with Ethiopia's Deputy Prime Minister Demeke Mekonnen, and in fact there's a picture to that effect. And reports also indicate that African leaders are keen to resolve the conflict peacefully, and that Nigeria's former president Olusegun Obasanjo, almost butchered the name there, headed to Addis Ababa to make his bid for dialogue. Ethiopian soldiers have started training in readiness for deployment to Tigray, where more than 20,000 people have already fled into neighboring Sudan. We'll keep our eye on that story. Next is the sports with one Ida Waringa.
Leo Safaricom wanasherehekea miaka 20 na wewe. Piga star 444 star 20 hasi. Tumia shilingi 20 pekee utunukiwe 20 minutes na 20 MB.
Nestle Ceravita with Grain Smart, a smart combination of vitamins, iron, and minerals that gives children the nutrients they need for a great start for school. New Nestle Ceravita with Grain Smart, also available in a small affordable pack.
Jiko, Kenya's highest saving, longest lasting and biggest Jiko, cooks fast using half the charcoal compared to other Jikos, so you use less fuel and receive extra savings. Enjoy our great discounts and save an extra 500 Kenya shillings when you buy Jiko at your nearest shopping outlet.
Kenya is on the rise. It is powered by you. You are innovative. You are passionate about the future. At Timasako, we are a reflection of you. We are a stable, financially sound institution providing tailor-made services to add value to your life, time, and money. We are guided by your aspiration. We are Timasako, a true reflection of you.
Get fresh, gotta get fresh.
Downy's new boom boom pow, Downy boom boom pow. Smells baya na uchafuzi nazidi na improve Downy. Protect nguo zangu na nukia niko safi. Lazima niwe fresh na Downy's boom boom pow. Boom boom pow, Downy's new boom boom pow. Smells zote nazi boom boom pow, powerful freshness. Downy's boom boom pow.
Nani 15 bob too?
Pata kila kitu upendacho kwa M-Pesa kupitia star 334 hash.
Do you know that I'm the wife of Gonzalo? Do you know that I'm the mother of 2 daughters and I don't want you near me?
You can't catch me!
Where should I take you? Where should I go with you?
Love flies out of the window, my dear. Don't you forget that.
Love, like everything else in this life, is a decision. It's a decision, you know, when one chooses to love and make a full commitment, and you do it even with the most minimal details, right?
Get your value-added plot today by cash or through our installment plan. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Optiven Limited, the pay-saters in real estate.
NTV Sport in association with Showmax.
A very good evening to you. Time for the latest in the world of sport. I'm Ida Waringa. Well, Olympic champion Conseslus Kipruto has pleaded not guilty to charges of rape and freed on a bond of 200,000 shillings by Principal Magistrate David Osharo at the Kapsabet Law Court. Well, the 25-year-old is accused of defiling a 15-year-old girl between 20th and 21st October in Tironin village. Additionally, the prosecution accused the athlete of eloping with a teenager, a move that prompted the parents to report the incident at Mosoriot police station. The world champion was subsequently arrested on 11th November. Kipruto reportedly turned a fugitive and was on the run from the law before his arrest. The case is scheduled for hearing on May 10th, 2021, and it's left to see how this will affect the 3,000 meters steeplechase specialist's professional career with the Olympic Games in Tokyo next year. Kipruto was clad in a hoodie, mask, and sunglasses in an attempt to disguise himself. A throng of parents and relatives held brief demonstrations outside the law courts demanding for justice. Well, moving on, and Kenya national team head coach Jacob Ghost Mulee remains steadfast in Harambee Stars' chances of qualifying for the Africa Cup of Nations in 2022, despite Kenya's 2-1 loss away to Comoros in Group G. This as the Kenyan team got back into the country from Moroni today. Realistically, the Harambee Stars' chances are strained with just 2 games left to play in the group for Ghost Mulee's team, placed a 3rd out of 4th in the group with 3 points from 4 matches played so far. 2021 will see Kenya entertain Egypt at home before a final qualifier group game against Togo away.
Nimejiuzulu hapo awali, hilo si tatizo, lakini nafikiri mimi mwenyewe nina majukumu yangu ambayo nimejiwekea, kuna malengo yangu ambayo nimejiwekea. Kwa hivyo sasa hivi siku za kujiuzulu zilikwisha. Mimi nitapambana, labda nifutwe, itabidi labda tuweze kushinda kule Togo na tuweze kumfunga Misri nyumbani. Ni mechi 2 ambazo ni ngumu, lakini kwa kabumbu unajua unasema it's not over until it's over. Kwa hivyo bado tuna matumaini kuona kwamba tunaweza tukazoa hizo pointi zetu 3, basi tutakuwa tukimaliza na pointi 9, lakini pia itategemea na wa Misri vile wanacheza na Togo mechi ya marudiano.
Bado kuna uwezekano kama tunaweza change mentality yetu na tuweze kufanya bidii kabisa na kuconcentrate kwa umakinifu ama nini kwa Kiswahili, kitu kama hiyo. We need to concentrate more and keep trying. Everything is possible, but we need to change our mentality.
And still on the Harambee Stars and their chances of qualifying for the Africa Cup of Nations in 2022, which now hang by a thread following a series of disappointing results at home and away to Comoros in their Group G qualifiers. With a tough 2 games left to salvage the situation, Kenyans give their opinions on the Harambee Stars' chances of clawing back from the doldrums.
Itakuwa ngumu hapo qualify kabisa. Hawaza kuqualify kwa sababu saa hii wako na pointi. Itakuwa ngumu kwa sababu saa hii wako na pointi 3.
This time ni ngumu sana. Chance yetu ilikuwa kwa Comoros na wametupika kwao, tukadraw hapa. So saa hii tuko na almost number last. Naona kama itakuwa ngumu sana. But we needed Olunga most so that we can at least have some goals.
Tumefilio gapi Olunga kwa sababu na sisi juu tulilack striker ule finishing na mwenye ako na experience, si striker tu.
Tatizo kubwa sisi tuna mpira mzuri, lakini maandalizi ndio mabovu na selection ya timu. Komoro ni timu ndogo jameni. Visiwa kule, timu ya visiwa kule ni timu ndogo, lakini sasa kwa sababu hiyo mpira yao wanainua kidogo wale viongozi wa kule, na Afrika kwingine pia mpira kama Uganda kwa mfano, mpira iko na value.
Well, definitely some interesting thoughts there from various Kenyans. Let us know what you think and talk to us on our social media, on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Let's cross borders and go international now. England's hopes of qualifying for the UEFA Nations League finals ended after a 2-0 loss to top-ranked Belgium. Yuri Tillmans opened the scoring after 10 minutes when his 20-yard shot took a deflection off Tyrone Mings, and Dries Mertens doubled their advantage 13 minutes later with a superb.
NTV Sport in association with Showmax.
That does it for NTV tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you to David Agondoa for the sign language interpretation, to Jackson, my director, and Zainab, my producer, as well as the entire team that made this possible. My name is Mark Masai. Have yourself a good night, and remember to do everything you can to stay safe, including wearing your mask. Good night.
This is NTV.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
It's great here in paradise. Not too much going on, though. What have we here? An Eve. Hello there, little bird of paradise.
A real gentleman wouldn't whistle at naked ladies. Who are you, anyway?
Adam's the name. Might I seduce you with a Red Bull?
Red Bull? Aren't you supposed to use a serpent for that?
Not necessarily. Red Bull is the energy drink that gives you wings.
Okay, I'm easily tempted, but surely we can't fly out of paradise.
Come on, I'll show you paradise.
Ooh.
We are Nation, Africa's independent media brand. We are committed to empowering all Africans, from the young to the old, from the curious to the educated, and from the heart of the cities to the rural areas. We are Nation. Join us, because if you want to get far, you do it together. Nation. Empower Africa.